morning. My name is Lieutenant Dan Yoder. I'm from Frederick County Fire Department, Frederick County, Maryland. This morning, my talk is my journey, how I got here. And it was an interesting one, to say the least, and I'm sure we all have those types of journeys. Mine started in a very small fire department in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, outside the city, known as Geistown Fire Department. Well, a bunch of young guys got together, and we were there at the fire department, and we would tend to hear on our radio system, and I am not a radio aficionado by any stretch of the imagination. We would sit there and we'd hear this thing called skip. And we heard folks called LA City and a place called OCD. And I'm like, you know what? And it was a group of us all went to school together, and we're like, you know what? These guys are pretty cool. And we're listening to them and talking about light force or a task force, a heavy task force at that time. And so we kind of all got together and movers and shakers, at least we thought we were at that time. And we were able to influence some of our communication. How was that? So you know, as we were going forward, folks kept saying, you guys are LA East. And that kind of stuck with us. And folks actually made fun of us because we're just a little department back in the middle of nowhere. Well, you guys, you're trying to be too big city. Well, stop. That department turned out 7 career officers, 9 state instructors, and we still think we did pretty good. So I fast forward a little bit here to a couple of years ago, and I kept my childhood dream. I wanted to come out to Los Angeles and see what this is all like. So I was getting bored in my fire service career, kind of coming to the end. I have like 4, maybe 5, depending on how much money I need for children's college. Yes, GoFundMe page may be popping up to help me out a little bit. My daughter just got picked up at a preparatory high school. That doesn't come free. Donations are being accepted at the door when you guys are leaving. So I wanted to come out here, and I found this thing called LAFD Leadership Academy. And I thought, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. So I tend to start running it by some folks, and some folks are saying, well, yeah, that's a pretty lofty thought process. Yeah, but you know what? It's on the bucket list. So whatever's on your bucket list, roll with it. So I ran it by my wife, and she's like, that is a great idea. Ran it past my battalion chief, and he said, that's not a great idea. We have all these guys off. We have minimum staffing. You can't be taken off all the time. So I did 7 trades. But during all this preparation time, I'm in contact with a gentleman known as Captain Matt Ott at the In-Service Training Committee section at the Los Angeles Fire Department, who puts me in contact with just a tremendous gentleman, Paul Nelson. Well, Paul Nelson, if anybody knows Paul Nelson, it's like everybody knows him as Nelly. This guy is just on point. So he's talking to me. We're starting to make the arrangements. I fill out some paperwork. I have the county signs off on it. Yes, you can go as long as you have all your trades. It doesn't impact any of our staffing. Hey, you're good to go. So for about an hour one night, I tried talking myself out of going to Paul Nelson while Nellie is talking me into coming out to Los Angeles. He said, look, just come out for a week. If you come out for the week, you don't like it, you don't need to go through the rest of the 4 month or the 3 months of the academy. The academy is 1 week. Then you go home and do some additional coursework, and then you just keep coming back for 3 more weeks, and then you graduate. Well, I said, you know what, I'll take a chance on it. So got a hold of Southwest, came out here. And Paul told me this. He said, if you come to Southern California, you come to Los Angeles, he said, you will never be treated like that again. He said, it's unbelievable. You'll be treated like a king. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot, see what it's like. And this whole time I'm reading up on it because the LA City Academy is based on the United States Military Academy at West Point. Their background, the way they do business, the leadership, the interaction. I'm thinking this is exactly what I'm looking for to keep my fire service career fresh, at least for another 5 or 6 years. So I'm like, okay, I'll do this. Well, when I arrived, There were 37 of us in the class, I believe it was, 36. 2 other guys from Seattle were there. Wonderful people. We had a great time. We were given, basically to me, given the keys to the city. We stayed at the academy. There's a wonderful little condo there if anybody's has seen it. It's a bunk room. It's a dorm room. Fantastic. We were carted around. We were taken to different fire stations. We had the opportunity to ride with various crews. We were definitely treated as royalty. The hospitality here. I'm back here today, and let me just interject this. Pasadena Fire, fantastic. I'm being treated the same way, and I thank the folks for that. The LA program, as Paul put it, that you will carry this with you throughout your life. You'll carry the way to do business, your leadership, your interaction with folks. It will not only be your professional life, but it certainly will be in your personal life as well. And I have definitely seen that. Again, I come back to the fact that I was ready to give up. I was getting to the point of, the fire service is stale. I've taken a number of training classes. I'm looking for that next step, and I was having a real hard time finding it. So I found it through the Los Angeles Fire Department Leadership Academy. So now I kind of like Paul Harvey. I'm going back to show you the rest of the story. I've now been getting in contact with some of the childhood friends, the guys I grew up with in the fire department, and saying to them, remember those days we sat on the front stoop at the fire station? Remember when we would listen to LA? You know what, guys? It's out there. There are a lot of training opportunities outside of the fire department as we can utilize in the fire department. I'm following up a Navy SEAL today. That is just an awesome honor for me. And the gentleman's speech, how he integrated the Navy SEAL way of doing business into the fire service, spoke to me, sitting right there. I got chills when he said, calmness under fire. That is exactly where we are and what we need to be demonstrating to the folks behind us. We're their leaders. I like the opportunity to pull the senior man out and see what happens. I can tell you, I'm going to go back to our training academy and give it a shot and see what happens. See if we can at least integrate some of this. And I thank him for this. Because you are never, ever too old to learn. Those guys need to go if you say you're too old to learn. There are opportunities out there. Again, coming out here, just a few quick excerpts of the class, if I may. Just take a second. The class is divided into 4 weeks and basically 4 months of instruction. First is the leader. It's you. How do you interact with your people? What do you do? One of the big parts that spoke to me was emotional intelligence, working with the crews and understanding everyone, trying to work with them, where they're coming from. Sometimes you just need to be hard. Other times, you need to somewhat understand what's going on in their life. Give them not a pass, but that emotional intelligence of just, you know what, I understand. A little bit of empathy, a little bit of sympathy, this is how we fix it. We go forward. The lead, that's the folks you're dealing with. A number of theories are put forth in the program at Los Angeles on how to deal with folks. But let me back up one. I missed one significant point. You're the leader. Before you can do anything, you need to look in that mirror and say, am I the best I can be? What can I do to make it easier for my guys to do the right thing? So I come down to number 3, situational, the situation. How are you going to handle that? Very adequately and eloquently put forth before me, calmness under fire. And the last one is the course integration. We did a lot of role playing, conflict resolution, dealing with various hard folks to deal with than the folks that are super easy to deal with. And I would be remiss if I did not say about the 20-page paper that is due for the LA City Academy, or I'm sorry, for the leadership program. So again, awesome program. That's how I got here. I got here as a kid listening to them, finding out in my fire service career, starting to get stale, starting to just say, I'm ready to roll out because there's nothing new out there. And I found it. And I thank the folks from LA City that have the program. I thank Pasadena. I thank God for being able to just allow me to move forward and have my last 5 years or so very productive. And I enjoy it. It's Christmas morning. Every third day I go to work, it's Christmas morning. So thank you and God bless.